Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today I am here with a warning, which I've given you before. I'm going to give you the warning again. But it's a little bit more stern than normal. I'm not sure if stern's the right word, but that's what I'm going with. And the warning is this. Stop buying Black Bolt and White Flare singles. You see, we are a mere day away from Black Bolt and White Flare finding their way out into the world. It's a very exciting set. It is a set about which I am very excited. And as we get going here, a quick reminder, YouTube have changed their policies lately, so if you could drop a like or a comment, that would make a huge difference now, far, far more than it did in the past. So Black Bolt and White Flare then. It's looking like a good set. There are some ridiculously exciting cards in Black Bolt and White Flare. There are some cards in there that people are going to be absolutely desperate to get their hands on, like, for instance, the black and white rares of Reshiram and Zekrom. They are awesome. I would like these cards. I think Zekrom over Reshiram, I think I prefer the design of that card. I've always really struggled to figure out if I like Reshiram or Zekrom better, and I know it doesn't really matter, but I'd like to get the answer. I think it's Zekrom, but then again, Zekrom was a real key part of Pokemon Conquest in a way that Reshiram wasn't, so maybe that's where my answer comes from. But regardless, there are some very exciting cards. Now, does anyone want to figure out, want to guess, want to try and give an inkling as to what might be happening with the cards from this set? Well, on the one hand, you can look at this and go, "Wait, hang on a second, Wassy. Set's not out yet, what are you talking about?" Yeah, obviously the set's not out yet, but there are enough people that seem to get the cards early, whether they're getting them from shops or wherever, and essentially they take this and they use that to sell stuff early at ridiculous prices. Is it wrong? Yeah. Should they be doing it? Obviously not. Are they doing it? Yeah, they are. So the question then becomes, well, all right then, what's going on? And the answer is, I'm seeing a bunch of sales. Weirdly, more for Black Bolt than for White Flare. And I'm seeing absolutely absurd prices. Just ridiculous prices. Way higher than people should be spending. Take the black and white rare of Zekrom. I've already told you I love this card. I love this card. This is a card that makes me very happy. I have found one sale of this card so far over on eBay for $820. This is not a listing, ladies and gentlemen. This is a sale. It's an absurd amount of money. $820? And look, I don't know how much this is going to sell for. I don't know what the pull rates of these black and white rares are, because it is worth pointing out that the black and white rares are a new kind of rarity. We don't know what the pull rates are. We don't know how rare they are. We can't even begin to guess what the price is going to be. And here's where I have to admit, though I'd rather not, but I have to, $820 might be fair. Now, I don't think it is, and I would be very surprised, but I do have to concede that there is a chance that $820 is the right price here, because we just have absolutely no idea. But $820? Do you want to guess how many cards in the Scarlet and Violet era from every set are worth more than $820? One. And since I've said one, you can guess what the one is. It's obviously the Umbreon, which is around about $1,000 or more. One card in the entirety of the Scarlet and Violet block is $820, and that is the Umbreon from Prismatic Evolutions. The actual biggest card in the entire game. Well, at least from Scarlet and Violet. If you want some other comparisons here, the Sylveon from Prismatic Evolutions is a sub $400 card. Not even close. The Pikachu from Surging Sparks is a $200 card. Team Rocket's Mewtwo, the big card from Destined Rivals, is a sub $400 card. Not only is Umbreon the only card higher, no other card is even half of this. If this was half the price, it would still be the number 2 card around in the Scarlet and Violet era. And we're just going to go, oh yeah, the set's not even out yet. The set's out in a day, but this seems like a reasonable price to pay for it. Now, as I've told you before, there are reasons to do this. Because maybe you want to get the first one graded, or maybe you just have the money and don't care. And look, if you've got the money and you don't care and you're willing to pay over the odds and you know you're paying over the odds, but you don't care, cool. Like, I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money. I'm here to give you friendly advice on your old pal Wassy and nothing more. But I'm telling you right now, the idea that any card should be $800 is ridiculous. I still think the Umbreon is honestly a little bit high, but that I kind of get because, you know what, it is a special set. It is a set which is selling out everywhere. It is a big card in that set. And as much as it seems too high, I kind of get it. This, nah, mate, ridiculous. Another Zekrom card that I've been seeing a bunch of sales for is the Special Illustration Rare. And yeah, it's all over the place. The first one that sold actually a few days ago now sold for $750. We got 2 more sales for $370 and a best offer accepted of $500. Oh, yeah. That is, I mean, you can already see there, it went from $750 to $370 in the space of 4 days. I always tell you guys, don't buy early. Well, yeah, here we go. Here's an example of why you shouldn't. Ridiculous amount of money. But even if we leave off the $750 and we go, well, hang on a second, that $750 is a little bit silly now, isn't it? I just gave you the prices of a bunch of these Special Illustration Rares, the big ones from other sets. Team Rocket's Mewtwo is about $375 right now. The Sylveon is just under $400. The Pikachu is just over $200. Why is Zekrom $370 or more? Again, we're going on the assumption here that Zekrom is up there with Sylveon, the number 2 card in the set, which we literally cannot keep in stock, and which is boosted up by the possibility of the Umbreon. That's an absurd amount of money. Want to see something even dumber? Full Art Zekrom. There's been a bunch of those sold, weirdly. So I've got some information about Full Art Zekrom. Who wants to guess if it's a sensible amount of money? It's obviously not a sensible amount of money. Full Art Zekrom right now, we've seen 2 sales, one for $50 and one best offer accepted of $60. So let's call this like a $50 card. Well, I mean, let's go to Destined Rivals. Let's figure out what the number 1 full art Pokemon is in Destined Rivals. Anyone want to guess if it's going to be above $50? I'll be honest with you, I'm checking in real time as I'm making the video, and I am that confident that I'm just checking it in real time. Yeah, the number 1 is obviously Team Rocket's Mewtwo. You all could have guessed that. Number 1 by a bit of a margin, I should say. $24. Team Rocket's Mewtwo with Giovanni on the card. Top full art from Destined Rivals. $24. Why are we paying $50 for Zekrom? The answer is we shouldn't be. By the way, number 2 is the Ethan's Hoa with Ethan on the card at $10. Again, why are we spending $50 on this Zekrom when we could be spending like $10 on, you know, the biggest card in most sets? And don't get me wrong, right? The full art Mewtwo coming in at like $24. That is exceptionally high. For a full art, that is huge. And the set's not even out yet. This Zekrom, if this full art Zekrom ends up at $20, I will be very surprised. It might. But again, I would be very, very surprised. $50? No. No chance. No chance. That is going to end up at $50. What I will say is, I really, 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 really enjoy that somebody tried selling regular Reshiram and it sold for $1. Don't worry about the shipping. The shipping is that's shipping to me in the UK. That doesn't count. But yeah, so somebody tried selling Reshiram and it sold for $1. And that honestly makes me really happy. Somebody's trying to sell like one of the simplest cards, just a random EX. Okay, it's not random, it's Reshiram, but still. Somebody tried selling it pre-release, probably hoping they were going to get like, $10 or something for it, which does sometimes happen. Only sold for $1. That makes me happy. I will say, White Flare, we haven't had as much in terms of early card sales, but we have had some. Like this Reshiram Special Illustration Rare, which sold for $650? What? No. This is kind of what I keep telling you guys. Again, that would put it as the number 2 Special Illustration Rare in the Scarlet and Violet era, behind only the Umbreon. Obviously, that is a ridiculous amount of money, so nah, mate. Just nah, mate. That was never going to be a sensible price. And don't get me wrong, that is an actual sale. Somebody actually paid that. But the idea that that is actually what the card should go for is just absurd to me at this point. There were a couple other sales that were actually slightly lower, one for $510 and one for $365. But again, $365 is putting it up there with Team Rocket's Mewtwo, the number 3 Special Illustration Rare, so let's not pretend that that is a sensible price either. It's weird that the latest one was the most expensive. That's not normally what happens, but hey-ho, that's where we are. There's no way this... Well, okay, I can't say that. I would be absolutely stunned, there we go, if the card actually ends up at this price when it's all said and done. But, no, this early, not buying it. Now, in terms of the Reshiram Black and White Rare, we've got one that sold for $1,100, one that sold for $1,250, well, best offer accepted on $1,250, and then one that sold for $400. I'm going to be honest with you, that $400 doesn't look horrendous. Now, I don't know what the pull rates are going to be, and I'm talking on the assumption that people are going to overpay for this card. Let's be clear. But $400, I mean, it's a third pretty much of what the other people were paying. That alone has got me a little bit interested here. But again, the idea of like $1,100 is just absolutely absurd. Have we seen any of the Victini be sold? Yeah, one was a best offer accepted of $975 and one was $625. So, slightly more reasonable? Maybe? But, yeah. Let's not go pretending that this is a sensible price for the card. Here's another one that sold for $810. And then here's some earlier sales for around about $900 to $1,200. The fact that there's more Victini out there being sold than Reshiram and Zekrom, I do think is actually kind of instructive. So I'm just telling you, this all seems far too high at the moment. You have been warned. Do not buy big cards a day before a set releases. That is frankly a little bit silly. But I've told you all about this now, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And please do remember what I've been telling you. With the new YouTube algorithm, likes and comments are so much more important than before, so please drop a like and a comment. It would mean the world. And shout out to one of our lovely Patreon supporters, as we always do here, Kool-Aid. They've been supporting for a little while now, so shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. They're awesome. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.